Hello everybody and welcome back to Lokalfeed show. My name is Azura and our guest today is such a badass and Singapore's very own MMA fighter. In case you don't know what MMA is, it's mixed martial arts. Her name is Tiffany Teo. She started out martial arts just as a form to keep herself fit. Never did she expect to become one of the world's best female martial artists. Nicknamed No Chill, she won her comeback fight against an 8-time Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion Michelle Nicolini after taking a break from her loss, which she took some time to recover. Talk about a comeback. So on this episode, we talk about how it started for her, what does it mean to be a pioneer of female fighter in Singapore, how losing her first few fights made her a better fighter. And before we get to it, if you want to support us, there are a few ways you can do so. Share an episode with your friends, subscribe to Spotify, iTunes, and YouTube. Leave a comment, give a thumbs up, and last but not least, we would like to thank those who's been tuning in to our episodes. We want to tell you, we want to share with you that we truly appreciate you. So, without further ado, remember, be bold and stay inspired. Here is Tiffany Teo.
Hi Tiffany, thank you so much for being here, taking the time to sit down with us. Okay, can you tell us a bit about yourself?
So I'm a professional MMA fighter for one championship.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was quite interesting how I started doing mixed martial arts. At first I graduated with a bachelor's degree in psychology.
Okay.
So after I graduated, I did a bit of research with A-Star and NUS.
Okay.
So it was also at that point in time I started, I've been doing martial arts all along, but after I graduated, I decided to give it a try. Like I have a amateur fight.
Okay.
And I was doing just Muay Thai back then.
Okay.
So after I started working, I started training at Juggernaut Fight Club. And the coaches there asked if I wanted to try the amateur Muay Thai fight.
Okay.
So I gave it a try, and I guess it's a blessing in disguise that I lost my first fight.
Okay.
Yeah, so because at first it was more like a bucket list. I was
Okay.
like, all right, one fight and experience. Hopefully I win, I'll be done.
Okay.
Yeah, so I lost, and I felt like the fire. So I kept on training, and I focused more on boxing after that.
Okay.
So I trained. I did boxing for about a year, and I had my first amateur boxing fight after.
Okay.
And I had a few more boxing fights, and at the same time I started doing a bit of jiu-jitsu. So I kind of like know a bit of striking and grappling. And I would say the transition to MMA was a natural transition because I could do a bit of both.
Okay.
Yeah, and everything just fell into place, and I decided to give it a try.
How long was this? How long was it when you first had
My
that?
first Muay Thai fight was early 2013.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
It doesn't feel that long ago.
It felt like it was just yesterday for
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay. Since
Yeah.
5 years ago.
Yeah, like before that I've always been doing Muay Thai, but it's
Okay.
more like
Leisurely.
leisurely. I didn't like take it that seriously, or
Okay.
like just to stay fit.
Okay.
Yeah, it was only after I graduated from uni. I was like, it's like about time to give it. Because even when I was in my uni, I wanted to try it, but
Okay.
I was working part time and schoolwork and all. I knew that I couldn't commit to the training.
Okay.
Yeah, so I didn't really pursue it when I was in my uni.
Okay. But I mean, what would you have imagined yourself doing if not MMA? What would you have done?
Yeah, like before I started fighting, I was planning to work a few years and then pursue my masters.
Okay,
and then,
you're in psychology, right?
Yeah, psychology.
Okay, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I was doing more like developmental psychology.
Okay.
So it would probably be more along the line of masters and then maybe eventually PhD.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's an interesting turn.
Yeah. It's seriously a flip, right, in that sense, right?
But I still see myself going back, but maybe more towards sports psychology instead of developmental psychology.
Okay.
Yeah, because I had to choose, between competing or pursuing my masters, and it was quite an easy decision, I would say, because I feel like sports is a very age-specific thing. It's like I can still be studying when in my 40s, but I could, but I don't want to be fighting when I'm in my 40s. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to ask you, because you took psychology, right? Do you apply that to yourself? Like, I mean,
Yes, a little bit.
as an athlete, you have to have physical and mental strength,
Yeah,
right?
especially the mental aspect, like how I prepare myself going into the fight preparation.
Okay.
Yeah, to be like mentally focused right before a fight.
Yeah.
Like I use a lot of visualization technique,
Okay.
to help myself stay focused. And not just psychology, even yoga. I do a lot of yoga, and I teach yoga also.
Okay.
So it helps me, like the breathing techniques and all. Yeah, it
Okay.
helps with my fight preparation.
Cool. So you're actually a holistic, you're everything in a sense. To make yourself a better athlete or better fighter,
Yeah,
right?
pretty much.
Because
Yeah.
before the MMA, or did you just pick up yoga? Or
It was during when I was learning boxing and all, I started doing yoga.
okay.
Yeah.
Why was that? As in-
I had this really bad nerve injury along my shoulder.
Okay.
So I was looking around for options to like to help with the injury, and then I had an SNC coach back then, Gerard. His Instagram is Black Cat Movement, so he's into all this mobility yoga stuff, and so he helped me with a few stretches, and over time I saw improvement with my injury.
Okay.
So that got me interested, and then after doing more research, I feel like a lot of injuries can be prevented if we focus more on the prevention, like stretching and all, which I feel like a lot of athletes, they are lazy to do, or they just
That's right.
yeah, and then so I decided to like focus more on that. Like even at my gym, I try to like make my teammates like to stretch more.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you would say to the athletes that stretching is very important, right?
Yeah, it is. It's like a lot of injuries can be prevented if we just stretch more.
But you do see the difference, as in
I feel the difference also.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
and especially for jiu-jitsu and MMA, like flexibility helps a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to go back into your MMA, your martial arts, right? Okay. So first you Muay Thai leisurely, right?
Yeah,
Then-
actually it's Taekwondo first.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. You have a lot of
So
disciplines in
Taekwondo,
there.
but I only did Taekwondo for like about 2 years.
Okay.
After JC.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Muay Thai.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then Muay Thai. Then after that
And
you.
then I started boxing,
boxing.
and then a bit of jiu-jitsu, grappling,
Okay.
wrestling. Yeah.
Okay, so when you became an MMA athlete, right? So what were your fundamental skills? As in, because you did Muay Thai, which is like striking and kicking, right? Have you taken Jiu-Jitsu? Or
A little bit. Like when I did
Okay.
MMA, I was still a white belt in jiu-jitsu. I was only like maybe a year or two into doing jiu-jitsu. I was still really raw as a grappler.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that means you had. I mean, when you're in the ring, what do you call it? Ring.
Yeah, in the cage.
In the cage,
Yeah.
right? Cage.
Yeah.
Okay. When you're in the cage, so that means you try to fight.
I was
in a-
more comfortable striking,
Okay.
standing up. Yeah, but over the years, I got more comfortable on the ground. Yeah, so actually I like grappling more now than striking.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, talking about grappling, your latest victory was with Nina.
Michelle Nicolini.
Michelle Nicolini. Okay, so she was a grappler, right?
Yeah.
She's the world champion for.
Yeah, she's like a 8 times world champion. Yeah.
Okay.
So it was a pretty big step up for me, I would say.
Okay,
Yeah.
but how did you win that fight? I mean, I know you were trying to. I mean, you know that her strength was on the ground, so you tried to fight on the in the
standing
strike.
up, yeah.
How was that fight? How did you feel during that fight?
Yeah, I was really happy with the results. So for the whole fight preparation, the whole camp was to keep the fight standing, because the only way for her to win was to bring the fight to the ground,
Okay.
because that's where her specialty
Yeah,
is.
that's right. Okay.
So the whole fight prep was takedown defense. Like even if I get taken down, try to scramble back up,
Okay.
keep the fight standing. So for the first 2 rounds, I think the whole fight she took me down once, but like I think when she realized that she couldn't take me down, she started pulling guard, so she just fell to the ground and engaged on the ground.
Okay.
Yeah, so I feel like I did a pretty good job keeping the fight stand up, and had a few good submission escape attempts on the ground. Yeah.
Cool. That was a huge. I mean, as a player, do you see yourself as an athlete? Sorry, sorry, as a fighter, do you see yourself progressively improving?
Yeah, for sure. Like when I first started fighting MMA, I wasn't that comfortable on the ground.
Okay.
Yeah, especially my first few fights, I tried to keep it standing, and I can see myself like progressing, like my skill sets improving in different aspects of MMA, different disciplines of MMA.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if someone were to, if someone who wanted to get into martial arts, right, for women, female, right, I mean, would you advise for them to have all the aspects, as in the ground, the striking?
I guess it depends on what they want out of it. Like, I would say give everything a try. Because it's like, at first when I started striking, I was kind of a little bit close-minded, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, because when I first looked at people doing jiu-jitsu and all, I was like, yeah, that looks kind of gay, and a lot of hugging and all. So I was a bit close-minded. And I didn't really want to give it a try. So it was only when I started training at a gym where they had like jiu-jitsu program, and I was like, oh, like it looks quite interesting. So yeah, after trying it, I was like, yeah, I actually like this a lot. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So I would say like have an open mind, give the different sports a try, and see what fits you more. Yeah.
So I mean, grow as you, learn as you. Okay. We talked about your victory. I want to take a step back and talk about your losses. I think a year ago, right? You've
in January, this January.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you lost that. How did that feel for you?
It was. Yeah, like, so after the fight, I was not just mentally, physically, I was really, I was injured pretty badly. I was off from training for about a good 2 to 3 months just to recover and all. Like, after the fight, I had a really bad cauliflower ear, so my whole ear blew up, and there were a lot of like weird, I don't know, liquid, and yeah. So I had to go for a surgery. I did like at least 3 or 4 surgery on my left ear. Yeah, and I had eye injury.
Okay.
So I had to do laser because there were holes in my retina after the fight.
Okay.
Yeah, so I had to close up the hole. So yeah, I was out from training for a bit, and I felt like it was a blessing in disguise, even though it's a loss. I learned a lot from that fight.
Okay.
Yeah, and it made me reevaluate my plan, my game plan, and my skill set, like things I have to work on.
Okay.
And also mentally, I feel like I wasn't that prepared for that fight. So I learned like the things that I have to work on mentally as a fighter.
Okay.
So I feel like after that loss, I came back as a different fighter.
Okay. So when you say that you feel that you're not prepared, right? How does that feel? As in, was it before the fight you felt that you were unprepared, or when you were on the ring? I mean the cage itself.
Yeah, I would say more in the cage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I felt I wasn't. I guess the nerves got to me a bit because my last loss was also my first time contending for the title shot. So I guess the nerves, everything, it all got to me.
Kind of the pressure.
Yeah, so I didn't really prepare myself for that kind of situation, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
How important is, well, I don't say failure, but how important are losses to you? I mean, does it have
honestly,
any...
I feel like losses, for me at least, like throughout my martial arts journey, I learned more from my losses than my wins. Like I said, my first fight was a loss, and honestly, if I didn't lose, if I won, I think I'd probably be done. I'd be like, yeah, take off the bucket list, I'm done. Yeah. So and I learned a lot from that loss also. Like my first Muay Thai loss, I learned that. Because back then I was like a pure Muay Thai fighter, so I focused a lot on just kicking. After that loss, I realized, I need to work on my boxing, and that's how I started boxing. Yeah, and same thing for my last loss. I learned a lot of new things about myself and things that I have to work on, improve on. Yeah.
But how do you overcome that bad day or that bad loss? Like, how do you?
I guess you need to have. For me, I have an end goal.
Okay.
So. And I try not to lose sight of that end goal, and I see all these challenges as like baby steps, towards my end goal.
Okay. If you don't mind us asking, what is your end goal?
Eventually, I want to hold a title belt.
Okay.
In MMA, and also like defend the belt and see how far I can go from there.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's your end goal. I mean, after this win, do you see yourself? Will you get a chance to have a
I
title
guess
fight?
I'm probably like maybe 1 or 2 more wins away from the title shot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I want to ask you because because we don't know. I mean, the layman doesn't know how many fights do you actually have to win
There's
to get
no
a title fight.
fixed number actually.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends on how competitive the division is.
Okay.
Yeah.
But for one championship, right? How many division for women are there?
Currently, there's only 2: atom weight and straw weight.
Atom weight is what's the weight?
For the 8 kg to 52 kg.
Okay.
So for straw, it's any weight between 52 to 57 kg.
Okay, cool. Is it because there's no? I mean, is there no heavyweight contenders or?
Yeah, I think
Not many in Asia.
hardly in Asia. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the girls tend to be a bit smaller in Asia. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Pre-game rituals. I mean, because I think it's hard to actually. I think physically you can be physically prepared, but do you think the mental strength is
Yeah, I feel
important?
like fighting is more mentally taxing than physically taxing.
Okay, I mean, if you can share.
As in, like, physically you can prepare for all sorts of situations.
Yeah.
You can get stronger, do a good SNC program, better cardio, run more, sprint more. Yeah, the mental aspect I feel like is a part that has often been overlooked, and athletes don't talk much about that also, I feel.
Okay.
Yeah, so I started reading a lot on sports psychology after my last loss. Yeah, and for my last fight, before I went into the cage, the prep was a bit different.
Okay.
Actually, I did a bit of meditation right before the fight, and my corner man, they were telling me, like, some of the fighters were walking past me, like, looking at me, what is this girl doing? Like, meditating right before a fight. Yeah, so, and I do a bit of stretching also to just like calm my nerves and let my body feel loose and easy. Yeah.
Okay, so you're a calm. So you're the calm before the storm person, or because some people are rah rah.
Yeah, I know. Like, I guess it depends on your personality type also. For me, I like to stay calm. Like, I don't like to get too like psyched up right before a fight. Like, I'll leave it for like in the cage.
Okay,
yeah.
Interesting. Female fighters. What's the stigma about female fighters? Is there still stigma going around that females shouldn't be fighting and stuff like that?
Yeah, but I would say it has been improving over the years, like, because there are more female fighters. Like, yeah, back then when I first started Muay Thai and boxing, I would say that there weren't a lot of girls doing competing in combat sports.
Okay.
So I guess the common stigma is like tomboy, like girls shouldn't be fighting, and lesbian, I guess. I get a lot of people asking me if I'm lesbian. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, there's a few like stereotypes.
Okay. Yeah. Stereotypes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it has been changing now. Like, you see a lot of girls, a lot of female boxers. Yeah, the amateur female boxing scene is like, it's growing. So I remember when I was doing amateur boxing, it was hard to get me a fight.
Okay.
Yeah. Now it's like, I think there's an upcoming full female boxing fight card for amateur boxing.
Cool.
So yeah, over like 5 years it has grown so much. So I'm really happy to see that it's growing and more females, they are taking this up and doing it competitively. Okay.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at like MMA, right? One championship, right? I mean, has it got to do with UFC, for example, right? I mean, it started from
yeah, for sure, UFC did a pretty good job at promoting the sports in Asia. Yeah. So
as for female fighters, as in, because I remember this UFC, right? I mean, Dana White didn't want. I mean, right? Back then, he didn't think that women can be in a fight, and then Ronda Rousey,
came around, and everyone loved to watch her fight.
Yeah.
She walks the talk.
Yeah, correct. So I mean, does that have a bit of influence why women are slightly? I mean, in your opinion, that women are starting to
like she played a really big role in helping women MMA grow. Yeah, it kind of like showed the world that we can be on a big stage and
still perform in that sense, right? Okay. I mean, how do you feel to be? I mean, in a way, right? You're kind of like one of the few pioneers for the women MMA, right? How does that feel on you? I mean, how do you feel about that? I mean, people do. I mean, I'm sure people do look up to you as a role model in that sense, right? Because you're one of the pioneer. Yeah. So how do you feel?
Yeah, for me, sometimes I have people coming to me telling me that I inspire them and all. So it's really nice knowing that. and I'm really glad that throughout while I'm pursuing my dream, my journey, on the way I inspire people to maybe take up the sports, and yeah, it's nice knowing that. So sorry, what's your question?
As in, I will turn it. I mean, I will change it a bit in the sense that how do you feel as? I mean, what would you want to impart as one of the pioneers or one of the role models for in Asia for female fighter to other younger or upcoming fighters that inspire to be in the cage to take up MMA?
So I guess my first advice is it's a tough sport, so you got to be mentally prepared for that. Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's not like other profession, I would say. Because there's no like fixed guideline. It's not like I win this fight, I'll get to point B. It's a wild ride. Anything can happen. Yeah. So there's no fixed guide on how everyone's journey is different in mixed martial arts. So I guess you got to be mentally prepared for that. Like it's kind of like a wild card. Anything can happen after the fight. You might win the fight, but you might get injured and you're out for a few months. So yeah, it's a wild card. So be mentally prepared for that. And I guess you have to know what your end goal is. That's been really. It kind of like keeps me focused, having an end goal, knowing along the way you have a lot of obstacles but having an end goal helps you to stay focused.
Okay. So talking about that, right? So what are your plans for next 2 to 3 years?
I plan to keep competing in MMA. I'll see what comes along. See what one championship offers.
Okay.
Yeah. So hopefully get another shot at the title.
Okay.
Yeah. So I see myself competing in MMA for the next 5 to 6 years, as long as I'm injury free.
Okay. I mean, don't mind me asking how old are you?
I'm 29 this year.
Okay.
Yeah, just turned 29.
Cool.
Yeah. So I see myself fighting until like my mid-30s.
Okay.
Yeah. And even after I stop fighting, I plan to pursue grappling more.
Okay.
So more of professional grappling.
Okay.
Yeah, jiu-jitsu tournaments and all.
Okay. So it's less of
physically taxing. Yeah, because it's more like just submission. So you're not getting punched in the face and all. I don't want to be in my 30s and still getting punched in the face. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, you've really planned it out in a sense because you mentioned you see the end goal because I mean, sitting down talking to you, I mean, I realized that you've really planned it out in the sense that you know what you want to do and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
I have a rough idea of like what I want to go next. Yeah.
Okay. Has it? I mean, so far you've mentioned you're really lucky that everything is in place. But have you ever met like, for example, a roadblock or speed bump that's so hard to overcome to reach your end goal? So far, it's been quite.
I would say it's been quite smooth sailing. Like besides injuries, I mean, injuries is like part and parcel of a fighter's journey. I feel, it's not something that is within your control. Yeah, so I guess. Yeah, I'm really thankful that I don't really have any like serious injuries. I know of fighters, they bust their knee in a fight, and the whole rehab is like, because there's not much support also, I would say, for like funding all this rehab and injuries.
You mean
for fighters in general, because that's like your profession. So even if you have your insurance, because it's a profession, you can't claim it for your insurance.
So then what? As in, then how do they?
Usually they have to pay for their own. Or if you're lucky, if you fight for a good organization, they will pay for if the injury is sustained during the fight, they would pay for that. So I'm really lucky. Like for my last loss, I was badly injured. Like thankfully, one championship they really take good care of their athletes. So they paid for all the medical bills.
Okay. I wanted to ask you. Okay, if you're not fighting, right? You're doing this. You're a fighter full time, right? In a sense, or is there some?
But I still teach.
Okay.
I teach like HIIT classes, yoga classes.
Okay. Where do you have these classes?
At Field Assembly, this strength and conditioning gym. It's at Club. It's near to Clarke Quay.
Okay, cool.
And a few other like studios. More like freelancing.
Okay. So how much do you train? Okay, let's say if you, like, for example, this fight, right? Was 1 year.
It was about a year, about 8 to 10 months.
So do you train every day?
I try to. Like
Okay.
after that, the loss, I was out for a bit. Like, I didn't train at all for
Right.
a good 2-3 months. Yeah, so when I started training, yeah, I guess I'm just used to the
routine.
routine. Yeah,
Okay.
so usually I'll train every day, and depending if I'm on or off season. So
Okay.
let's say if I'm preparing for a fight, I'll train minimum twice a day.
Okay.
Sometimes up to 3 times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because there'll
okay.
be like different aspect of the training for mixed martial arts especially. Like there'll be strength and conditioning, there'll be grappling, striking. Yeah. So there's like different components that you have to be well-rounded for mixed martial arts.
Okay. And during your off season, you do side hustles or?
Yeah, during my off season, I'll teach more classes, and
Okay.
usually I'll train like once or twice a day, depending on my schedule. Like it will be more relaxed. Yeah, I'll still train, but not as intensely. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, if someone wants to pick it up like an upcoming, I mean, because everyone needs to make ends meet in that sense,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, what would your advice be for them in that sense?
I would say don't just like jump into it, you know, directly. Like you can still have a full-time job and still train.
Okay.
Because the good thing about being in Singapore is most of the training is in the evening after working hours. Of course, it'll be tiring. You know, after a day of work, you still have to go to the gym. But I mean, if you really want to pursue that, that's one of the sacrifices you have to make.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can still have a full-time job and still train in the evening, and maybe for a start progress as an amateur fighter and see how much you like fighting.
Okay.
Instead of just hopping straight into professional and
Okay.
quitting your job and not being sure that if I like this that much, and yeah, so like take it step by step, and if you feel like you really like this and you think that you can do well in this, yeah, maybe convert to part-time or something. Yeah.
Okay. So how was your progression to that?
Yeah, so when I first started competing as an amateur, I was still working full-time with A-Star and NUS.
Yep,
yeah, but I was really lucky. My professor, she was really flexible with my working schedule. So I started work earlier, so I started work around 7 a.m.
Okay.
But I skip lunch and everything, so I end work around 2-3 p.m. usually.
Okay.
Yeah, so I get to rest a bit before my evening session, my evening training starts.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was really lucky that she was understanding. Yeah.
Okay. So that was your amateur
during
part
my
of
amateur
it.
days,
So how do you
yeah.
jump? How did you go from your amateur to your professional? Did you go straight to? Did you sign on straight with one?
Oh no, I didn't.
Okay.
So after competing in amateur boxing, I fought for a few smaller MMA organizations.
Okay.
It was professional, but I would say the level of competition isn't as high as one championship.
Okay.
Yeah, so I fought for Fullmetal Dojo, is a MMA organization based in Thailand.
Oh, okay.
And Singapore Fighting Championship, yeah, based in Singapore.
Okay.
Yeah, so I had I think I had 2 fights. Was it 2? Yeah, 2 fights under Singapore Fighting Championship.
Okay.
And 1 MMA fight under Fullmetal Dojo.
Okay.
And then after that, I sung in. My 4th fight was with onwards was with 1 championship.
Okay.
Yeah.
So were you talent scouted or you
So
do you have
after-
an agent or okay?
After my 2nd fight, 1 championship contacted my coach back then, saying that they're interested to sign me.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but I rejected the first time
Okay.
because I felt like I wasn't ready. Because I felt really raw as a MMA fighter. Yeah, I feel like I was still exploring and wasn't sure if I wanted to commit to it 100% yet.
Okay.
I was still kind of like in between amateur boxing and MMA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
so after my third fight, after I won, they contacted my coach again.
Okay.
So I knew that they were really keen on signing. Yeah, so I was like, yeah, maybe I should take a leap of faith and see where it leads me to.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, that's an interesting journey. I mean, yeah, because you're right. I mean, it's always good to explore first, right? Because you'll never know.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, like see what fits you, and like I feel like sometimes you don't have to rush into making a decision. Yeah.
Okay, that's wise advice. Yeah, it's true. It's really wise advice. Okay, we're gonna get into some fun stuff. Hopefully, it's fun. I think it's fun. Okay, but a few things that I wanted to ask you. A bit about what is your why? As in, you have an end goal, right? I mean, is that your why, or how? I mean, does it ever get tiring for you to wake up every day?
Yeah, it is. It's super tiring. It sucks. Like sometimes I wake up in the morning, I'm like, oh my god, why am I doing this? Why am I torturing myself?
Yeah, so I mean, we're very keen to know, like, what is your why? What keeps you getting up in the morning, doing the things that you do every day?
Yeah, it sucks doing it, like the whole training, the dieting. Yeah, it sucks to diet so bad. Yeah, yeah, I love eating a lot. Yeah, but I just can't help dreaming the same dream. Like at the end of the day, when I step in the cage, I know that this is what I enjoy doing. Like it's my passion, so I guess that keeps me going.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, to be great at something, you have to sacrifice.
Yeah, like I feel like to do, like no matter how much you like doing anything, be it a profession, it's like you have to do things that you don't like to get to what you want to, you know. It's like you have to, those I guess are the sacrifices you have to make. Like it might be things that you really absolutely hate, but you need to do it so that you can get to your end goal. Yeah.
Okay. But how do you get through a bad day? I know I've asked you this before. As in, what is your ritual or your routine to get through a bad day? Do you have that?
Yeah, of course I do. Yeah, I guess I just keep reminding myself what I'm doing this for. It helps me to stay focused and telling myself that it's just a bad day, you know. It's not a bad life. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. It's a bad day. It's just a bad day. It's not a bad life.
Yeah, I mean I'm sure everybody has a bad day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just treat it as one of those days and move on. Yeah.
Okay. One more. I mean, do you ever have had like bad feedback or like negative from?
Oh, a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
As in from outside?
Yeah, like most of them, they are people that I don't really know. Like just random comments on like my page or my Instagram.
Okay. What do they actually say, or what they actually?
Like they will say like, oh, you didn't win that fight, like you didn't perform well, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, but I guess I could see why, like, because like I said, it's mixed martial arts. You know, so let's say if you're more of a grappler, you'll like maybe view the fight in a different way.
Yeah.
If you're more of a striker, you might view the fight in a different way. So. And not everyone understands the judging criteria for MMA fight. So I see where they're coming from. So I just take it with a pinch of salt and like, whatever.
And just move on, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So cool. Okay, we're gonna go into something a bit fun lah. So we're going to find it fun. Okay. Is there anyone that you look up to? Your role model or?
Yeah, a lot. My coaches and teammates, like they inspire me a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, and I guess in the field of mixed martial arts, Ronda Rousey, she's one of the pioneers. And let me think, Rose Namajunas, one of the UFC fighters. So she's a badass man. Yeah.
Okay.
And these few people.
Okay. You mentioned sorry, we're going to tap a bit about your training in a sense, right? So do you go through like different gyms and stuff to actually grow as a player, or do you just stick to, I mean, I'm sure you have more than one. Do you?
So for strength and conditioning, my last fight I've been working with Gerard Black Cat Movement.
Okay.
Yeah, so he was with Strength Avenue previously, but I think he left to venture on his own. Yeah, so and for my martial arts training, I'm mostly based at Team Highlight Reel.
Okay.
Yeah, my head coach is Major Overall.
Okay.
Yeah, but sometimes I do train at other gyms, like just for sparring, you know, get more sparring partners, have a few of different styles.
Okay.
Yeah, but mainly I train with Black Cat Movement and at Team Highlight Reel. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, is it kind of a collaborative kind of thing?
Pretty
in
much.
that sense?
So my SNC coach, he happens to train at Highlight Reel too. He does jiu-jitsu there.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a good thing that it's a small community and we all train together. So he gets to see how my martial arts training is like.
Yeah.
So like he doesn't like overtrain me for my strength conditioning, because the main thing is still the martial arts training. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What's okay? This is a bit more fun, but okay. What's something that people don't know about you that you're really proud of?
I can bake.
You can bake? Really? Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I enjoy baking and cooking a lot. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but and a lot of people, they are surprised. But I was like, what? In fact, you can bake. I was like, yeah, it's not mutually exclusive.
Yeah. I said, why? Why do people have that like?
That's stereotype.
Yeah, it's so weird, right?
Yeah.
As in, cooking doesn't have anything to do with whether
Exactly,
you.
yeah.
Right. Okay. Cool. So you can cook.
Yeah.
One day you cook for us lah.
Actually, I just baked yesterday.
Oh,
Didn't bring it. Yeah,
okay.
Some brownies. And
Cool.
cookies, yeah.
Okay. What is your most humbling experience?
Most humbling experience, like fight experience or just
Anything in
general?
general.
Let me think. I guess I would say traveling. Yeah, because before I started pursuing fighting like professionally, I used to travel a lot, backpacking.
Okay.
Yeah, so I traveled to like different parts of Europe, Southeast Asia. Yeah, and I would say that traveling is a really humbling experience. You get to meet people from all walks of life.
Yeah.
And yeah, it opens up your perspective a lot.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's really true.
Yeah.
Okay, that's okay. What is your definition of legacy? Your very own definition of legacy. What do you want to leave behind?
Of my own legacy?
Your own legacy.
I guess when I look back to my fighting career, and all, like when people look back or look into my biography or my profile, I hope they see me as a fighter who never gave up. Like no matter how hard the challenge is, like even when the odds are against me, I hope they see me as a fighter who fought her way through and never gave up despite adversity. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, don't mind me asking, have you ever encountered where the odds are against you, all the fights?
I would say my last fight. So, because she's known as a 8 times world grappling champion. Yeah. So it was really funny. There was this poll on Instagram, Insta story, and they actually tagged me. Okay. So it was like Michelle Nicolini versus Tiffany Teo, who you got. And I was like, only 19% voted for me. Okay. And I was looking at the poll right before the fight. Okay. I was like, what? Like only 19%? Okay. But it kind of like fired me more to like, I felt like I had a lot to prove. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so that's the...
Yeah, like knowing that I'm the underdog for the fight. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, the 3 truths or lessons that you want to leave behind, should this be like your last day?
3 lessons.
Yeah.
I guess the first one will be like learning from losses.
Okay.
It sucks to lose. Nobody likes to lose, and I feel like sometimes it's something that you have to go through to learn. Yeah. Be it fights or be it like during your lifetime. Yeah, for sure you'll come across obstacles, but just see them as like stepping stone to your end goal instead of like a challenge that you can't overcome. Yeah, like no matter how hard things get, I feel like eventually it'll blow over. Just ride through it and see where it leads you to. Okay. Yeah. 3. So the second one, enjoy the process. Yeah. I feel like things. Yeah, the journey is just more enjoyable when you do things you enjoy, and you learn a lot along the way. Yeah. And the last one, I guess keep your circle small.
Keep your circle small. Okay, that's interesting. Why did you say that?
I don't know. Like I say, from my last loss, I see a lot of true colors. Like people you think that who are your friends, they are actually not. They are just there for the highs, not the lows. Yeah. So it's one of the lessons I learned from my last loss. I learned who my true friends are. Okay. Yeah, who will always be there for me no matter I win or lose. I learned a lot from that. Yeah. Okay. So I guess know who your true friends are.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to tap that a bit. Okay. How important is support? Because you mentioned that, right? How important is your support?
It's very important. Okay. So it might be a bit counterintuitive because fighting is like only you go into the cage yourself. You're by yourself and you're in the cage. But the whole fight preparation, I can't spar with myself. I can't train by myself. I need a partner. I need training partners to help me, and Yeah, it's really it's very important to have a strong support group for fighters.
Okay.
Like a group that you can trust.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. There are 5 seconds, 5 questions. Okay. If you had a superpower, what would it be?
I want to read people's mind.
Everyone wants to read people's mind. Okay, interesting. Okay.
That's why I'm a psych major. But they didn't teach me that.
That's true. Okay. Craziest thing you'd like to do?
Craziest thing I would like to do. That's hard. Craziest thing I'd like to do.
First thing that popped up in your mind.
Bungee jumping.
Bungee jumping.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Favorite food? You love to eat, right? What's your favorite
there's too
food?
many, man.
Just one if you had
today,
one.
maybe donuts.
Donuts?
Yeah.
But can you have donuts though? You're off season, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
off season.
Yeah, okay, cool. Okay. What do you think is your spirit animal?
Wolves.
Wolves?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Okay. If there were ever to be a zombie apocalypse, what would be your weapon of choice? Maybe she will say me.
Yeah, but they don't die, right?
Yeah,
so having
that's
a gun is not helpful.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, probably me. Find a way to kill them. Yeah.
That's true. Oh my god, yeah, because you're a superhero yourself. Okay, cool. Thank you so much, Tiffany. I hope you had fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so where can we find you? Or where can we support you?
You can find me on Instagram. My
Okay.
Instagram handle is Tiffany MMA.
Okay.
I'm on Facebook too, Tiffany Teo.
Okay.
Yeah, so mainly these two platforms to look out for news, events, or anything I'm up to. So for now, I'll just be focusing more on Jiu-Jitsu, and I'll see what's next for one championship. Hopefully, fight maybe sometime early or mid next year.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Okay, so this is not, I mean, all the other like jiu-jitsu and wrestling, they're all under your own.
Yeah, it's all
Own time.
Yeah, my own time.
Okay, cool. Well, you
Because I
really-
like to stay active even when I'm not competing in MMA.
It also keeps you your skills.
Yeah,
level up.
like so you have something to work towards too.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you so much, Tiffany.
Thanks,
You're
thanks
quite
for
an
your
inspiration.
time.
Thank you. High five.
Thanks.